Namaste, angels. This is the weekly general reading for the period of tomorrow, Sunday, November 25th, through the coming Saturday, December 1st. Isn't that insane? I hope everybody's had a good holiday, those who celebrated, or is having a good weekend. I can't really say I celebrated the holiday, but I did spend it with my family and some extended family. We don't necessarily celebrate Thanksgiving Day. Well, first of all, I'm Black. I think you guys know that. For those who didn't, I am. But I'm also part Native. My mother's Native, and Black, African, Native, African American, and whatever. She's American, of African and Native descent. So she's like a real American. So we don't celebrate Thanksgiving. She calls it misgivings. And so if we celebrate anything, that's what we celebrate. But I've been with my family. Still, I had been encouraging you guys to order readings and healing, even not necessarily for me. I mean, I like that you buy it that you get it from me. Those of you who did, but I I was more so talking about the period of time than who performed it. Although like I said, I'm happy to perform it. Of course, I think I'm the better person to perform it, but I just wanted you guys to take advantage of the time. So there's been like so much going on in the atmosphere, I'll say, between like the spiritual energy and the celestial energy. Today is a very high energy, powerful day. We're still surrounded by that the Gemini full moon brought. Also today, Neptune retrograde in Pisces goes direct or went direct. It is still on the Hebrew calendar, the month of Kislev, where they celebrate, good over evil, light over dark. And so we're still taking advantage of that. Similarly, on the Muslim calendar, the Islamic calendar, it is still Rabi al-Awwal, where we are celebrating the same thing, basically. Light over dark, and the Prophet's birthday, Prophet Muhammad, we celebrated his birthday on November 19th. So, there's so much going on and such high energy. And the Neptune retrograde in Pisces, I felt has been giving people increased psychic awareness and contributed to increased messages that were coming through to all of us, in addition or on top of what was already a thin veil, basically, between our realm and the spirit realms. Over the time, just Neptune retrograde just really made our connection even deeper and stronger. So I definitely wanted to take advantage of all that, and I have been. And so I've done about 9 client readings this weekend, despite the holiday, in celebration and everything else I had to do, running out to get my nails done. There's one, I broke one and all that kind of stuff. Anywho, I have I think I still have about 5 to do. So I'm going to try to do as many as I can tonight still. And the rest I will do tomorrow. I'll continue working on them. Let's put it that way. And be doing as many as I can. All right, so what we have on the calendar this week, one of my most favorite saints ever. On November 30th, we celebrate Saint Andrew the Apostle. So when I use my romance angel cards, I know for one thing, that's one time that you guys have heard me talk about St. Andrew. Because when I pull that card, Release Your Ex, sometimes it speaks about people like him to me. Let's read his story, and then I'll talk more about that. So I just went to www.catholic.org. I probably should have gone to Wikipedia for more information actually about him. These are just little summaries, but here's what they have. St. Andrew, also known as St. Andrew the Apostle, was a Christian apostle and the older brother to St. Peter. Did you know that? According to the New Testament, Andrew was born in the village of Bethsaida, on the Sea of Galilee during the early 1st century. As far as I can recall, he was born in the year 5 BC, but they don't have that here. They just say the early 1st century, so I don't know. Like I said, he's one of my favorites, so that's like, who knows when St. Andrew was born? That's the only reason I've ever checked, because he's one of my favorite saints. Much like his brother, Simon Peter, Andrew was also a fisherman. Andrew's very name means strong, and he was known for having good social skills. In the Gospel of Matthew, it is said, Jesus was walking along the shore of the Sea of Galilee and saw Andrew and Simon Peter fishing. It is then that he asked the two brothers to become disciples and, quote unquote, fishers of men. In the Gospel of Luke, Andrew is not initially named. It describes Jesus using a boat believed to be solely Simon's to preach to the multitudes and to catch a large amount of fish on a night that originally was dry. Later, in Luke 5:7, it mentions Simon was not the only fisherman on the boat, but it is not until Luke 6:14 that there is talk of Andrew being Simon Peter's brother. However, the Gospel of John tells a separate story, stating that Andrew was a disciple of John the Baptist. When Jesus walked by one day, John the Baptist stated, quote unquote, "Behold, the Lamb of God." It is then that Andrew and another made a decision to follow Jesus. Little else is said about Andrew in the Gospels, but it's believed that Andrew was one of the closer disciples to Jesus. It was he who told Jesus about the boy with the loaves and fishes, according to John 6:8. When Philip wanted to speak to Jesus about Greeks seeking him, he spoke to Andrew first. Andrew was also present at the Last Supper. Per Christian tradition, Andrew went on to preach the good news around the shores of the Black Sea and throughout what is now known as Greece and Turkey. Andrew was martyred by crucifixion in Patras. He was bound rather than nailed to a cross and is described in the Acts of Andrew. He was crucified on a cross form known as a crux decusata, which means an X-shaped cross or a saltire. Today, this is commonly referred to as St. Andrew's Cross. It's believed that Andrew requested to be crucified this way because he deemed himself, quote unquote, unworthy to be crucified on the same type of cross as Jesus. Andrew's remains were originally preserved at Patras. However, some believe Saint Regulus, who was a monk at Patras, received a vision telling him to hide some of Andrew's bones. Shortly after Regulus's dream, many of Andrew's relics were transferred to Constantinople by order of Roman Emperor Constantinius II. This happened was around the year 357. Regulus later received orders in a second dream telling him to take the bones, quote unquote, to the ends of the earth. He was to build a shrine for them wherever he was shipwrecked. He landed on the coast of Fife in Scotland. In September of 1964, which is 11, and September is 9, so it's 9/11 or 11, Pope Paul VI had all of Andrew's relics that ended up in Vatican City sent back to Patras. Now, many of Andrew's relics and the cross on which he was martyred are kept in the Church of St. Andrew in Patras. St. Andrew is venerated in Georgia as the first preacher of Christianity in that territory, and in Cyprus for having struck the rocks, creating a gush of healing waters upon landing on the shore. His saltire cross is featured on the flag of Scotland and is represented in much of his iconography. He is commonly portrayed as an old man with long white hair and a beard, often holding the gospel or a scroll. St. Andrew is the patron saint of fishermen and singers. He's also the patron saint to several countries and cities, including Scotland, Romania, Russia, Ukraine, and Patras, And his feast day is celebrated on November 30th. There's nothing on the Hebrew calendar this week. On the 3rd, like I said, this reading goes through the 1st. On the 3rd, Hanukkah begins. So I will mention that. And that's it. Yeah, 2018 is almost over. Now, the Jewish year won't be ending yet because it's based on Rosh Hashanah. So it's year 5,779 there. And it will remain that way until... I guess around the summer is usually when Rosh Hashanah is, right? Similarly, the Islamic year is 1440 or 144. Isn't that cool? All right. So I'm going to talk about Mercury and Scorpio, I think, next, because I'm going to go to the celestial calendar. And on December 1st, which is the last day for which this reading is, Mercury, I do have to talk about, I need to talk about Jupiter semi-square Pluto also. All right, but I was prepared already to go to December 1st. At 6:12 a.m., Mercury retrograde enters Scorpio. So for a little bit about that, I'm going to www.tarot.com. Mercury in Scorpio, sharp, inquisitive, mysterious. So currently Mercury is retrograde in Sagittarius. This means on the 1st, it will be moving from Sagittarius temporarily into Scorpio. And it looks like it stays there from the 1st through the 12th. Mercury plunges into the depths when it enters passionate and private Scorpio. Mercury is the planet that influences how we think and communicate. But while it moves through this watery sign, our thoughts mix with our feelings and inspire us to ask questions and to get to the bottom of what's happening in our lives. Ideas, conversations, and people who are shallow or superficial have no power during Mercury in Scorpio. Instead, this is a time of depth and intimacy and can be very effective period to talk about difficult issues regarding relationships, money, and morality. When Mercury is in Scorpio, Scorpio thrives in the dark, the realm of secrets and lies, questions and answers, death and transformation. It's an extremely inquisitive sign that is never satisfied with what is simply lying on the surface. Scorpio knows that the real treasures are found when you dig a little deeper. So while mental Mercury moves through the sign of Scorpion, we all start asking more questions and searching for more hidden meanings. But we may not be happy with what we discover. When Mercury travels through Scorpio, it's like Mercury is shining a light on all of the darkest parts of ourselves. We become more aware of our fears and our desires and the ways that others' lives impact our own. We can bond in much more intimate ways because we're able to discuss topics that are normally off limits. But Mercury in Scorpio brings out the skeptic in all of us. While it may feel like we're searching for something wrong in every situation, it's really about emphasizing our negative thinking to get positive results. By eliminating information and ideas that don't serve our needs, we make room for those that will. Our minds are also more suspicious when Mercury is in Scorpio because it's a time that emphasizes secrecy and privacy. We're quick to assume that there are things going on that we don't know about. But if we push too hard to try to get to the truth, which is very likely under Scorpio's persistent influence, we risk creating long-term issues of intimacy and mistrust. That said, Mercury in Scorpio does have the potential to foster greater intimacy as well, because we're more willing to ask the really hard questions that we might finally get the answers we need to grow closer in the process. When Mercury retrogrades through the sign of Scorpio, issues of honesty and intimacy arise. Secrets and lies we've been trying to hide are exposed, or we may experience yet another fallout from a previous deceit or betrayal. A key quality of any Mercury retrograde is that it offers us a second chance to correct errors, reconnect with people, and to absorb information that we didn't get the first time around. Doing this in dense, dark Scorpio, however, requires us to stay calm in what we feel like threatening situations. Like our threatening situations, I guess they mean. This is a time to learn that thoughts and reality are not the same thing. We can and should question facts and conclusions that come from the things that we see and hear. And you can go on to read more if you were born with your Mercury in Scorpio. So I'll go ahead and mention that on December 2nd, the following day at 12:02 p.m., Venus also enters Scorpio. So I'll talk about that next week. But what that means for Geminis in particular is that both of our rulers will be located in Scorpio. So that could get pretty interesting. And people who have these, these positions natally in their chart, I'm sure will be interesting for you guys as well. All right. So the other thing that I was going to talk about is that on Jupiter, on November 28th, so 11/28, at 11/28. So that's, let me be clear. I'm saying 11/28, the date, at 11:28 p.m. Isn't that cool? That's my daughter's birthday, by the way. Jupiter semi-square Pluto. 4 degrees 36 is Jupiter's position, and Pluto 19 degrees 36. Interesting, because 4 basically is a sum of 13. And then we would have the 13 and the 19 together. All right. I don't want to get to talking in numbers and confusing anybody. Jupiter going to hnizato.com/Jupiter-Pluto-conjunction-square-opposition. When transit or solar arc Pluto forms a conjunction, square, or opposition with Jupiter, you may feel a strong sense of optimism and personal power, similar to the natal Pluto-Jupiter aspect that he has described above, if you want to visit this page. Similar possibilities exist for solar arc Jupiter conjunct, square, or opposite natal Pluto, whereas the transit Jupiter tends to pass too quickly, although it still has the same potential. During this period, you may be challenged to enlarge your vision and to seek bigger or deeper goals than what you've previously imagined. Perhaps it's time to raise your own expectations as to what you can achieve. And that, of course, is because Jupiter is the planet of expansion, like globalization, luck, karma. And now I'm going back to December 1st because I skipped around. I started on December 1st with Mercury retrograde entering Scorpio. And then I went back to cover Jupiter semi-square Pluto, which I had skipped on November 28th. And now I'm going back to December 1st, 10:40 a.m., Jupiter biquintile Uranus. And for this, I went to cafeastrology.com/natal/quintile_biquintile. Jupiter, quintile or biquintile Uranus. You enjoy life and possibly enjoy a good game of golf, a ski trip, or a great concert, or other performances on occasion. You appreciate entertaining and uplifting experiences, and you manage to find them regardless of where you live. So it looks like we'll be in a good mood when that comes around. And that was the last event to speak of. Of course, there'll be other things going on in the celestial system during the week, as well as other feast days on, I'm sure, all of the theological calendars, but the major transits and events we just went over. So going to the dice, I'm beginning with no. party, and massage. Spirit says stay in bed. Forget it. And cocktail. Going to the cards, I am beginning with, and it sounded like we're going to have a good week as far as what's going on in the world. So I'm not surprised to see this now. We're beginning with the Four of Fire. Contentment, peace, and abundance. A happy home life and the successful completion of a project. This could be Jupiter, right? That fire energy. Jupiter, ruler of Sagittarius. But opening to the Eight of Air, which could very well be Mercury, probably is. An illusion of being trapped. A lack of self-confidence and being afraid to take action. Some may be feeling stuck as it relates to a living condition or relationship. Or both. For fire. Ace of Air. Brilliant new ideas and inspiration. Seeing the truth of a situation and challenging beginning. This could be you getting out of that situation, whether it was the relationship or a living condition that, you know, you were dissatisfied with. The Ace of Air turns up when we are triumphant, you know, like in the face of despair. You know, we had difficulty, maybe even like some betrayal, but we still are victorious in the end, although we might have some more bumps in the road to cross. Come on. Four of Fire. And the Page of Fire. Outgoing, creative, confident, and mischievous. Also a Sagittarius for me, but could be a Leo or Aries as well. News of an exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity. This could be an opportunity to change that for a good relationship or a good living condition, you know, one that you are satisfied with, more than satisfied. You are contented, at peace, and feeling abundant with this one. You may be a Sagittarius specifically, or a direct fire sign specifically, Leo, Aries as well, who is or it could be any of us benefiting again from perhaps Jupiter, Sagittarius' ruler. For fire. And the Dreamer. Major Arcana card 0. A leap of faith. Follow your dreams. That leads to unexpected opportunities. The Major Arcana card, the Dreamer, is the Fool in the traditional tarot. Like if I was using the Rider-Waite to be the Fool. And in this deck in particular, tends to represent for me the planet Mercury. And therefore the signs of Gemini and Virgo, which it rules. And I especially feel good about the 0 today because, again, we are in the energy. I'm taking advantage of the energy of the Gemini full moon, which was at 0 degrees Gemini. Smack in the middle of the Pleiades, Taurus. For fire, speaking of Taurus, boom, and the Pleiades, the King of Earth. That could be thought, right? Because his 5 daughters live in the Pleiades. That's what they say. Generous, professional, responsible, and practical. A successful time. Confidently accept opportunities you're offered. You have the Midas touch. So as it relates, again, to a relationship or a living condition or something about our home, perhaps, or our daily day-to-day peace, right? 4 is about foundations. Is good, is abundant. We could be coming into a new one, buying a home, selling a home, entering a new relationship that is going to thrive and be long-lasting, right? It has a lot of value as the King of Earth. This could be a job or something, too, that's coming our way with the King of Earth. And it's something that's going to make us feel really, you know, at home. We feel good when we work. You know, it's nice to truly enjoy your job. And it would be that kind of job. King of Earth, other than that, is a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. This, you know, as a court card, this can be an actual person who maybe is a facilitator of this abundance that's coming your way. This could be your own energy, just, you know, feeling super abundant and maybe even generous and helping other people, or, you know, somebody extending generosity and stuff and such to you. For fire. Nice. From the king of earth to the king of water. Trustworthy, compassionate, respected, and cultured. Open your heart and mind to those around you. Trustworthy and heartfelt advice. And charity work, which is love. That king of earth and king of water could easily be, especially on the heels of the ace of swords, Mercury. Right? And we just talked about Mercury, ruler of Virgo, so there's the king of earth, entering Scorpio this week. King of water. The king of water is indeed a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Could be Pluto. We just talked about Pluto. Yeah, could be Pluto himself. Open your heart and mind to those around you. Trustworthy and heartfelt advice may come your way. You may give it out to somebody else. This could be another example of the King of Earth's generosity too. The two of these coming together. That's why you're feeling especially generous maybe. Also, charity work is likely, quite possible when the King of Water is around. And charity work, from where I stand, is love. Anytime you give or receive unconditionally, without agenda, without, looking for anything, to me, that's love. Very nice. Overall energy this week is the Two of Water, a relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, and the positive resolution of a conflict. This is the general reading. It could be any kind of partnership. It could be even a familial relationship, family member you maybe hadn't been getting along with, you reconnected with because of Mercury retrograde, and now you're back together. Could be any type of situation of a partnership, that you're emotionally connected to. But of course, it can be romance and, sneaking into the general reading. Crowning the masculine this week is Major Arcana card, the Emperor, with Archangel Michael. Organization and logic, structure and discipline, leadership. The Emperor is another 4, again, about our foundations, is about taking control of your own life. You could be coming into contact with some sort of authority. This could involve somebody's father, the masculine's father, or represent himself as a father or a father figure or an authority, a pillar of leadership, perhaps. The Emperor is a Scorpio or an Aries, all right, or somebody likened to those traits or attributes. Represents the planet Mars for me, who rules those 2 signs. The masculine is surrounded by, Major Arcana card, Ego, the Devil. Number 15, a false sense of entrapment, being overly focused on material things and negative or fear-based thoughts. So it could be connected to work and somebody feeling stuck in a job, right? Trapped in a dead-end job, as they say. And this could be representing your boss, or you could be stuck in some other sort of situation or feeling stuck. And be careful about focusing on that stuckness too much, because eventually our thoughts do become our reality and you will be stuck. You're feeling stuck, but there is a way out. And this could be your energy realizing that there's a way out and taking charge, taking back control of your own life and cutting these cords to whatever this represents. This could be some sort of codependent relationship, toxic situation, addiction to something or someone. Not necessarily substance abuse, but that too. Cigarettes, drugs, alcohol, sex. At the root, it's another Major Arcana card for the masculine. You guys are Trump tight, as they say. Major Arcana card, the Hermit, number 9. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. The Hermit represents the sign of Virgo. And you guys got a 613 here, don't you? Yep. My mind is always adding. 613 equals 19, representing Father, which we celebrated last week, as well as the Prophet Muhammad again. Here's your 6. Major Arcana card, 15 equals 6. Here, 9 plus 4 is 13. Together they are 19. So it could have something to do with Father, as in like God the Father. Our spiritual father, collective spiritual father. especially coupled with the Hermit. And I'd say the Devil too. Right? Where there's light, there's dark. Feminine, crowning us, it is the Queen of Earth, thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach and deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. The Queen of Earth is a Capricorn, perhaps like the Devil, or a Virgo, perhaps like the Hermit, or a Taurus. A Taurus, so someone likened to those traits or attributes. Again, a facilitator of abundance for the feminine, perhaps, into which we're coming. This woman could be a woman, somebody who helps us to get to that abundance. It could be our own energy. Again, feeling very generous, thoughtful, compassionate, nurturing, maybe. Wanting to not only make time for people, but, sort of cater to them a little bit. Possible also. Surrounding us, it looks like we have two cards. I did not realize when I was laying them, but I feel them now. Both the 4 of fire, with which we started, and the 3 of fire. So it's like the feminine progressing here before our eyes. I'll start with the 3. Abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time and make long-term plans, perhaps with regard to your home life, your living condition, or a relationship, maybe even marriage. You could be planning, how's the wedding going to go? Contentment, peace, and abundance, a happy home life, and the successful completion of a project for the feminine. Or for some, maybe the 3 is applicable, and maybe for others of us, the 4 is applicable. Also, that's another way for this to be playing out. Like some of us may have to be a little bit more patient, but this is on the horizon, and some of us are here already right now this week. Feminine subconscious, the 8 of Earth. Skilled work is rewarded. Learning all there is to know about a topic and maybe even going back to school. Here's the reward for effort that's been put in. In this position, placement, subconscious, she could be thinking about other work that might not be labor. Could be labor. That's a possibility. But it might not be. It might be experience in terms of life and effort into what she has going on here in her home life or a relationship also, or her job, her career. This is just her knowing that what she puts effort into is going to reap rewards, because that's how that works. Crowning. The Ace of Earth, the inflow of abundance, a promising business venture, important documents or contracts. For the feminine, it looks super lucrative. For the masculine, in the case of Ace of Earth, I mean, this energy is for him too to partake in, but crossing the Devil, he may need to let go of some sort of fear, worry about this not working out. Maybe he's starting his own business or something. Again, he's going to be the boss, maybe. Pay the cost to be the boss. I watched James Brown the other day, and he's stuck in my head ever since. Yeah, but he may have to release something onto which he's holding that is a block to this Ace of Earth, potentially. And that may be why he needs to go within and do some introspection here with the Hermit to figure out exactly why he's afraid, maybe, or of what he's afraid, and how he can, free himself of the limitation, the restriction that it has on him. Whether it is an actual fear or it's some other thing attached to ego or whatever, like, again, an addiction, a codependent situation, or something like that. But some are like starting their own business. Some has to do with the job that they currently work. And again, they need to go within. At the root, the 5 of Fire, competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. The 5 of Fire, from a positive standpoint, which it could very well be, particularly for the feminine, because we have a continued progression. 3, 4, 5 is sort of like an aggressive, like nothing's going to stop me. Nothing's going to hold me back. Nothing's going to stop me. By any means necessary, I'm getting this done, right? It's that aggressive energy of Mars. From a more negative standpoint, it can have to do with conflict, drama. And for me, the way I read the card, the conflict is, if it's not your own, like a inner struggle, right? If you're not just conflicted and that's why it's showing up, then the conflict or drama is with close friends and or family. Perhaps your father or your siblings or something, like having to do with your father. Or if this is you as a father, perhaps your child's or children's mother. And that could be the toxic situation that's here, that you're having to figure out. How do I get out of this situation and, you know, return to a place of peace, happiness, and abundance in my life? Because this is taking me down. You know, it's literally killing my vibe. At the heart of the matter, the 7 of air. Here is where somebody is trying to steal the joy, basically. Plans that need revision. More going on than meets the eye, and poor timing. Now, as it relates to business, with everything else around it being positive, it can be 2 things. Feminine, we could have to watch our, keep an eye out, because when you got a lot of good stuff going for you, somebody does want to try to mess that up. You know, their jealousy and envy and things can creep in from other people, and they can try to screw you. So be mindful of that. Alternatively, this is us taking a risk, maybe in starting our own business or buying a home or selling a home or entering a relationship. This 7 of air is representing for us risky energy. Masculine, similarly for you, this can be you taking a job or starting your own business and the risk that's involved in that. But before you do, I again would suggest that you work on releasing whatever the energy this is that is a limitation by first doing some meditation, some introspection, and going within. If it is a situation, again, where you are a parent and having some sort of conflict with your child's mother or some other family member or something here with the 5 of fire, that could easily be the case. With you guys having the 5, the 7, and the devil, this might be somebody that has to be cut off. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. And you may have a better relationship waiting for you with someone else or, just a better life ahead. Again, if it's a family member that you have to remove from your life, better times for you and maybe other family members once that person is removed, with the 2 of water being our overall energy. But I will further clarify these with my animal tarot, beginning with the Prince of Winter, the Knight of Swords. Decisive, focused, driven, and impulsive. Get ready for progress to speed up. This situation requires you to choose logic and intellect over emotion. That could easily be a situation involving family. Think about it, where you got to cut a family member off. That's an emotional tie. Nobody wants to do that, but you're going to have to use logic and intellect above that pulling on your heartstrings and think what makes the best sense for you. Prince of Winter. Right, logic and intellect over emotion and make the best decision quickly. Opening 2, Major Arcana card 18, the Moon, which represents the sign of Pisces. It's important to trust your intuition, even if you're unsure of what's happening. All will be revealed soon, so worry is unnecessary. So that could be tied to the risky energy of just jump, just leap. We also did see the Fool, right? We saw Major Arcana card 0, leap of faith. It could be tied to that. Just take your chances. Everything's going to be fine. This is the result. Or this is the result, is what the universe is trying to tell us. What's this that they made me pick up with it? 8 of fire is always positive for me too. Events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over and many things are happening at once. The next card is upside down. So they must have made me pick up the 2 on purpose. And the 5 of Winter, your current path isn't leading you down the happiest possible outcome, so why not change it? Always maintain integrity and compassion, but be alert to the hidden agendas of others. Right, this is what I was talking about here. Masculine, the person may specifically be a Capricorn or Earth sign. Capricorn or Virgo first before Taurus. And Aries or Scorpio. Prince of Winter. And the Hermit again, Major Arcana card dime. Take time for contemplation, to retreat and to go within. Be a beacon for others on their path of spiritual enlightenment as well. Hermit. And the 3 of Autumn, your most satisfying and profitable career, I say in relationship as well, comes from following your passions, listening to your heart, and doing what brings you joy, not other people. Your life purpose is best fulfilled by allowing your talents and true self to shine forth out into the world. 3 of Fire can also be about some sort of party of 3 if it's not about abundance that is earned. And that party of 3 may involve one's workplace. Some relationship that was formed at the job. And it's the 8 of Winter again. It's so easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you really aren't. Trust that God will lift you to new heights and give you a greater sense of self-confidence if you first affirm your own freedom. Very nice. This goes really awesome with the 2 of Water. The overall energy is the Princess of Summer. Again, today, Neptune went direct. Neptune, ruler of Pisces, which had been retrograde or is retrograde in Pisces, has been for some time, going direct today. Sensitive, kind, open-hearted, and inexperienced is the Princess of Summer. You can expect to kindle a new romantic relationship or a close platonic friendship. You may suddenly receive an emotional message from someone or be invited to a social event. The Princess of Summer is a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. Someone likened to those traits or attributes. Could be somebody making an offer of love or sending you, again, an emotional message, a text, an email, a phone call. I was just thinking we didn't see the 2 of Wands. We started from the 3. And that's interesting. Crowning atop, crown of the masculine, atop the Emperor, Major Arcana card 4, is the 8 of Spring. Another indication of maybe an important message or something, a positive message. You've been presented with many wonderful opportunities all at once. While this may feel very stressful, remember to be grateful for the blessings that heaven sends you. And also to remember that you are in control, masculine. When you have the energy of the Emperor, you are in control. So the 8 of Spring could be telling you there's a lot going on behind the scenes, very positive, right, on your behalf. It's also an indication that you may be reaching out to somebody, buzzing to them, or they to you. A top Major Arcana card, the Devil. Ooh, this is interesting now. The Lovers, Major Arcana card 6, the Lovers. True and long-lasting love finds its way into your life. Follow your heart with caring actions and choices. What I say before. You may have another relationship waiting for you. Get rid of the toxic one because there's one much better. The toxic one may be with an earth sign, maybe more specifically with a Capricorn. And the good one is a Gemini that's waiting for you, perhaps. At the root atop, or your subconscious, atop the Hermit, Major Arcana card, the Hermit, is renewal. It's time to get clarity about your life purpose and to make changes that you're on the right path, and the changes will put you on the path that's most divinely suited to you. Forgive what has been without judgment, and fearlessly embrace what's to come. This is kind of like another Two of Cups, because it is a 2, 20 equals 2. And for me, it represents the planet Pluto in the sign of Scorpio, which is water. So it's like another Two of Cups. It's here landing on top of the Hermit, and good indication that what the masculine is thinking about is perhaps mending a relationship with someone. And I'd say quite possibly a romantic one. Getting out of a funky situation that he's currently in and moving to a better one. Here's another 8 of Fire. I showed you that before. It showed itself before. So that's another indication, again, of positive movement. Now, Major Arcana card Judgment, as relates to work, is very much like the 3 of Earth, which we just saw. It is about abundance that is earned. So when it is coming your way, it is because you did the work, sort of like what we saw on the feminine side. Nobody's doing you a favor. Nobody's, donating to you as a charity case or whatever. You worked for this abundance, whether it is the universe blessing you with ascension and increasing your vibration. They promote you, you'll see the promotion down here too. As above, so below. It will manifest in one way or another in your life and positive. But it's going to be your actual boss or something also, giving you a bonus. We're getting near the holidays too. Could be bonus time also. Also, looking at these together, this can be about the masculine, like being sort of proud of himself that he is in control, or that he has started to gain control of his life. Regardless of all the many things that are happening in it, like he's still maintaining, basically. And not only maintaining, but progressing. If this is in relation to work, you know what this can also be? Wait a minute. Somebody's father, too. Especially with the 5 of Wands here. I said conflict with family. There could have been some sort of struggle, maybe a power struggle, father-son with the father. But you do want to tell like your father that you love him, regardless of the fact that he's been like overbearing. And this might be a time for you guys to come to a crossroad and repair your relationship. A masculine and his father could be the 2 of water here also. I already said it could have to do with a romantic relationship. It absolutely can. And again, leaving one that is toxic and that you feel stuck in for one that's good. It's like, this is like, I talked about in the beginning of the reading before the cards, the Hebrew month of Kislev, and the Islamic month of Rabi al-Awwal, being both about being light over dark, good over evil. And that's sort of like what these cards reflect too. Like one is healthy for you, or one is what you want, what your heart wants, and therefore is healthy for you. And what isn't? One is not. One is not. And these can also be connected to that, because this combination, Judgment and the Hermit, can be like trying to like figure out, like, how can I recover from this? How can I make a comeback? How can I, maybe get better? Or maybe, so it could be connected to, again, to codependency and addiction, or it can be, how can I make a comeback as far as a relationship, and how can I do better and improve situation, and get back with the right person where I belong. All right, so that was a mouthful, but those were all the things that just came from the masculine, especially with the Ace of Earth here. Could definitely be like a blessing from the divine, a new start, again, with your father, with a romantic partner, or in your own life, having rid yourself of some sort of toxicity or addiction. But I definitely feel it can be, whoa. Okay, I got to show you that. I definitely feel with these two, it can be romantic, or again, a connection, a familial connection, and something about which you really will care, someone about whom you really will care, like one's father. When I picked up the Princess of Summer, there's another Ace of Autumn here, upright. You can expect a windfall of abundance, such as money, timely assistance, and a serendipitous meeting. So this could be like, again, getting back together with somebody or something, or meeting someone for the first time for those who are single. Or rewarding advice. You may be offered a fabulous new job, that's possible too, or a promotion, or the prospect of a profitable business venture or investment. And that could be something that's going on with the masculine too. It could be like struggling between, do I leave a job that I love to take a chance at maybe starting my own business or at a new job? Or do I let myself be stuck here? And we got 2 6s. Also, I had some sort of dream or something about 2 6s yesterday. What was that about? Goodness, I don't remember, but it was like that bit of it. It's not gonna do me any good, but that bit of it just came back to me. I don't remember what the 2 things were, but it was like they represent 6. They equal 6. I don't know. Maybe it'll come to me. But these are 2 6s together. All right, feminine. Atop our Queen of Earth is Major Arcana card Balance, number 14, which is temperance in the traditional tarot. All about healing and restorative energy, similar to what the masculine has going on over here. By merging varying points of view, you can generate an extraordinary new idea, compromise with others, and collaborate to discover a better solution. For some of us, this is our finances and or, career, something material being restored. Maybe something that was stolen or lost, we found. It comes back with this crossing the 7 of Swords. Atop the 3 and 4 of Wands is the 7. Be assertive, believe in yourself, and don't let anyone take away your personal power. This could be connected again to the 7 of Swords, which is about taking away thievery, theft, right? Trust that your inner guidance is true and follow it completely. So when they say don't let anyone take it away, that includes yourself. Like keep your spirits, your confidence, your self-esteem up so that you do trust your intuition and don't let yourself cost you any, valuables, whether they are tangible or, not so tangible like peace of mind and stuff either. Atop the 8 of Earth is the 4. Be cautious about living a life of extremes or seeing things in black and white terms. Consider, for example, whether you're spending too much versus hoarding your wealth, or giving too much emotionally versus building up walls that keep people out. But together, I say the 8 of Earth and the 4 of Earth, in this position, particularly the feminine subconscious, is about her making plans for herself and her household and like building her foundation. And that came up, that energy and theme came up for me very largely with the Gemini full moon, which is also the beaver moon, and beavers being an animal that spends, several months, like 8-9 months building in preparation for spring and summer again. So I think that's what the feminine is doing. It's some nesting. And it's funny that these are not beavers, but it's another rodent, squirrels, on this card. So similarly. Crowning. Atop the Ace of Earth, it is the Tower. Major Arcana card number 16. Important changes are coming into your life that will require you to take action. Don't hesitate to move in new directions that you know are right for you. So this is like where you're afraid or feeling restricted from going after this Ace of Earth, which might be unexpected. and come through very quickly with the Tower having shown up atop it. This is, you know, all of a sudden you come into this abundance. Don't, if you come up with an opportunity to get the abundance right away, you know, don't be afraid to jump at it, is what this is saying. At the root, atop the 5 of fire, the Prince of Winter is back. He is decisive, focused, driven, and impulsive. Get ready for progress to speed up. This situation requires you to choose logic and intellect over emotion and to make your decisions quickly. So what I said about this card before, I still feel. It could be like having to choose between keeping a family member in your life and not, you know, it's that sort of thing where you're going to have to put the emotion to the side and just make the best decision for you. What your intuition is telling you, what your logic is telling you, your intellect is telling you, what your heart is telling you. And not just what emotional, you know, or morality, maybe perceived morality, societal norms or whatever would dictate. At the heart of the matter, top the 7 of air, it is the Princess of Autumn. Cheerful, reliable, intelligent, and mischievous. A wonderful opportunity related to your work or to education, such as a promotion, a scholarship, is coming your way. That could definitely be the case, particularly for the feminine, crossing the 8 of earth. Seize this chance to learn something exciting or to start a more rewarding and uplifting career. Right. And don't let even you take it from you. This week, I'm going to clarify yet again with some cards I don't think I've ever clarified with before, probably because it's sort of kooky, but I'm going to do it anyway. These are my surrender cards, and I figured with the Gemini new moon, the day on which I'm doing this reading, full of the energy of that, I'm sorry, full moon, not new moon, full moon where we're releasing things, was the perfect time to clarify with these and to see for each little thing that we have going on here, what should we let go that will help us to be successful in these areas. So I'm beginning with surrender to play. Take a break from overthinking a goal and do something fun. Play is a time of recreation and rejuvenation. So this is like, again, the restoration and the recovery that we talked about with some of the cards. Surrender also outdated beliefs about yourself. Let go of limiting ideas. That could easily be that about yourself that originate from the past, especially sitting here next to the 7 of Swords. Then you can own your power, Emperor, and soar in your life. Surrender to play. Surrender obsessive thinking. If you're obsessing about a person or a situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help you to bring clarity or even solve the problem. Surrender to play. And surrender your desire to control people. Being over-controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. Surrender your desire to control people. I'm going to cut. And surrender to passion. Get out of your head and feel the fire in your belly. Focus on the people or activities that ignite your passion and let it flow. Overall energy is surrender frustration. Frustration doesn't open any doors. The key to resolving a dilemma or dissolving a block is to take a breath, center yourself, and regroup so that you may approach the situation more calmly. And that applies to all of these things here. There's 2 there. All right, atop the Emperor And the 8 of Spring. Masculine, surrender to miracles. Be open to miracles occurring in your life. Feel and know that these events are real. Let go of any resistance and banish any doubt that miracles can happen. And that makes a lot of sense with this here, with all of these things that are going on behind the scenes in your life that maybe you can't even really accept, or you've been sort of like fighting, like not in my life, but yes, in your life too. Changing the mindset can do so much. Atop the Lovers and the Devil. Surrender to the magic of who you are. We all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with a uniqueness and worth that comes from just being you. And that's why you should choose what you want and not let yourself be restricted by any outside influence. Atop Renewal and Hermit. Surrender stress. Like, don't drive yourself crazy about this. Take a few deep breaths and exhale the tension that you've built up in your body. Let the stress go as you come back to center. So yes, go within, think about it, consider it, but don't overanalyze and make stretch yourself out. Feminine for us, atop Balance or Temperance and the Queen of Earth. Surrender to rest and sleep. Well, again, Balance and Temperance can definitely be about like restoration to health, being made whole again. It's a very healing energy. So this makes a lot of sense. To prevent burnout, especially if we've been nurturing others, this time this is saying to nurture you too. To prevent burnout, slow down, honor your need for quiet time and peaceful sleep to rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit. That's exactly what Temperance does. It rejuvenates. Atop the 3, 4, and 7 of Wands. Surrender to receiving support and love. Well, that's definitely what this is, right? Allow the love and support of others in rather than trying to handle everything yourself. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you. So in this situation, however these cards play out in your life, as I've described them in many different ways, the opportunity arises for someone to help you out in that area. Let them, is the guidance there. Atop the 4 of Autumn and the 8 of Autumn is surrender to the beauty of the natural world. How fitting is that with these 2 Earth cards? All right, now we got more Earth. Take a relaxing break and spend time in nature. Replenish yourself by feeling the beauty and the ecstasy there. So feminine, this is calling on us to spend some time with nature. Bring it into your house, maybe, if that's what you want to do too. If you don't want to go outside. I know it's cold. We got 2 cards crowning atop the Tower and the Ace of Earth. They are surrender your fear of change. How perfect is that for this position here, these 2 cards? The universe is reminding you that you are cared for always, whether you're afraid of change in your job, your health, or your relationship, all the stuff I mentioned, or if you fear aging or death. Repeat the affirmation, I have faith that all is well. Also, surrender to creativity. Let your imagination soar. Stay open to all creative ideas about how to pursue a dream or to solve a problem. So remember, I was saying that, particularly about the masculine, I said you might not know how to go about this and how to break free of what's holding you back from it. There's your advice. It's kind of interesting how we got 2 cards of the same color there too. And a similar background. They're both like on the frontier and with the sun setting. Very interesting. The sun setting is kind of like at the end of something. So like it's a letting go. energy of, again, what was holding you back. Atop the Prince of Winter and the Five of Fire. Surrender to effortlessness. Stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force the river. And I said that this could be like by force, aggression, by any means necessary. I'm going to, tackle this thing. But this is saying like, go easier, relax. And certainly don't stress yourself out, possibly like an air sign. Lastly, at the heart of the matter, atop the Princess of Earth, or the Page of Pentacles, and I forget the other one. The Seven of Air. How did I forget that? The Thief. Surrender to your full power, right? Don't let anybody take anything away from you. You're in your full power. Your life is calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. This also, again, about your potential self-esteem, confidence. That would be like minimizing yourself, playing it small, diminishing yourself. No more of that. Also, again, this is about risk. So when you step into your full power, then you're more confident in taking a risk with the courage of a lion to go forth toward whatever. And we have here an Ace of Wands sort of figure, this woman who's holding one arrow, or Ace of Swords, maybe also. The difficulty, now that I say that with the Ace of Swords, seeing here an air card and an earth card, it's Mercury again, that's coming to mind. And specifically a Gemini, maybe with some sort of confrontation with a Leo, or other fire sign, maybe an Aries. Again, maybe a Scorpio too. Might be a Gemini that needs to make a decision. The Lover sitting here, or is awaiting, whether they realize it or not, a decision about them. Somebody over here might be making a decision about them. Maybe a Capricorn, Virgo, or again, Aries or Scorpio. The Ace of Swords, again, is another indication of a new beginning. And it's sitting here underneath the Ace of Earth. So it's a new beginning that, again, can be due to or involving Mercury, ruler of both an air sign, Gemini, and an earth sign, Virgo. Or it could be courtesy of Venus, also ruler of two air signs, actually, Libra and Gemini, and earth, Taurus. Definitely being supported, though, by the energy of Leo and perhaps the sun itself. Actually, I think there is some sort of transit between the sun and Jupiter this week. Of course, that I did not go over because it's not one of the larger ones, or at least that I perceived it as one of the... I didn't perceive it as one of the larger ones. All right, so with that, let's see what advice we get, additional. Masculine from the angels, the angel tarot. The Four of Water, missing an opportunity, discontentment, or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. This is similar to what I was saying here. And it's funny because this is another four as well. Remember I was saying, oh, that kind of stuff doesn't happen to me. I'm not expecting miracles because, I never see any in my life. That's this same kind of energy. And it does have to do with our day-to-day and our foundations. It's like a real feeling about yourself. And it's you like stealing opportunity from yourself because you are diminishing yourself, you're minimizing yourself, you're lacking esteem and lacking confidence when you really should be here with the power of a lion or an emperor, the emperor. There's only one emperor. There's 4 kings in the deck. There's only one emperor. So you have that power. Feminine. Ah, it's another Lovers. So there's one over here by the masculine and we got our own. Intimate relationships. Carefully weigh your decisions. Good health. The Lovers, again, represents the sign of Gemini. Or perhaps another air sign. Anybody can feel the energy of love, though, in the Lovers. To the masculine, it is yet another 3 of Autumn. So he has Judgment on his side, which is like, it's a similar energy for me. It's about abundance that's earned. But of course, Judgment is far stronger than the 3 of Autumn as a major, not only a major arcana card, but major arcana card 20. So it's like way up there. Yeah, it's far stronger than the 3 of Autumn. But you've got this energy twice over. That abundance that you have earned is coming your way. Also, you could be involved in some sort of party of 3 and need to make a decision of what job you pick, of the 2 choices you got to make, what relationship you pick, of the 2 choices you got to make, all that sort of thing. Your most satisfying and profitable career or relationship comes from following your passions, listening to your heart, and doing what brings you joy. Your life purpose and your life, period, is best fulfilled by allowing your talents and true self to shine forth out into the world. And you pick based on your feelings. The animals to the feminine. It is major arcana card 12 equals 3. So this could be having something to do with a party of 3 too. It is, ooh, wait a minute. Okay, it is the Hangman. In this deck, it's called Awakening. But it is the Hangman. Look at things in a different way and all will make sense. Don't worry about your progress being halted temporarily. Things will soon start moving again. Well, when the Hangman shows up with the Lovers, for me, it is a reflection or illustration of the real deal as it relates to a love relationship. This is a karmic relationship, and not karmic meaning, something derogatory. Karmic meaning definitely of the universe, a soulmate relationship, a divine union, a twin flame, whatever. It is the real deal, the real McCoy, as they say. Also, this is illustrating the day on which, again, I'm doing this reading where we're feeling the energy of the Gemini full moon, as well as Neptune and Pisces. Pisces, which is represented by the moon in the tarot, and Neptune, its ruler, where it has been retrograde, which went direct. When these 2 cards are together, yeah, it's for real, as far as I'm concerned. So you might have to be patient, though. That's the thing with it. Might have to be patient. There's some stuff like working out. It's like it's the real deal, but not yet. Not yet. I'm not ready yet. And that's kind of like what this says too. Right? The 3 of Fire indicates a need to be patient, maybe in getting to this 4 of Fire. I think I mentioned that earlier on in the reading. But like, stick to your guns and, keep your faith. And, don't give up on the fact that this is meant for you. And because what is meant for you will be yours. Lastly, from the Surrender cards to the masculine. Surrender obsessive thinking. If you're obsessing about a person or a situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help to bring you clarity or even solve the problem. And feminine for us, surrender to play. Take a break from overthinking a goal. Do something fun. Play is a time of recreation and rejuvenation. Two of the cards with which we started, when I first started shuffling, we saw both of these. We came across both of these. So that's pleasant. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the reading. I will be back with love. If you did enjoy the reading and you liked the video, you learned something from it, you got some clarity from it, please actually like the video. In YouTube. If you are not yet a subscriber, please also do consider subscribing. And if you decide, yes, I want to, then click not only the subscribe button, but the bell button to make sure that you get notifications every time I put up a video. And if you are already a subscriber and you have noticed that you are not receiving notifications every time I put up a video, then please check your subscription and your settings to make sure that all is well, because, you know, they mess with us out here. Yeah, thank you guys. And thank you to my subscribers, both here and on Patreon, as well as my sponsors. I appreciate you all. I will be back with love. Namaste.
My feet won't touch the ground.